So, good morning, boys. Welcome to lecture number 4 of solid mechanics. In this lecture, we are going to study stresses and strains in determinate and indeterminate beams, homogeneous and composite bars under concentrated loads. And we are going to see some examples of this determinate and indeterminate beams. I am Professor Sachin Todkar. At the end of this lecture, we all should be able to understand stresses and strains in determinate and indeterminate beams and solve the numericals based on these concepts. These are the objectives of this lecture. So what we mean by determinate beams? In some cases, statics, which means the sum of forces in any direction is zero and hence no acceleration is experienced. This means it's enough to analyze the structure. These structures are referred as statically determinate. In these cases, we can use formulas just like summation of all the forces in x direction equal to 0, summation of all the forces in y direction is equal to 0, and summation of moments is equal to 0. So that summation of fx fy and moment formulas will be applied in statically determinate beams. If the number of parts of beam n is equal to number of parts of beam and r is equal to number of unknown forces and moment components in that beam, then if r is equal to 3 times n, the beam is called as statically determinate. Because there are 3 equations and 3 unknowns, you can solve it. If r is greater than 3n, then it is called as statically indeterminate beam. So we have to study both type of beams in solid mechanics, and that's why this chapter is there. Equilibrium equations and principle of superpositions are used in solving this kind of beams. But in case of indeterminate beams, we need something which is addition to regular equilibrium equations. So when a system comprises of 2 or more materials, the forces in various members cannot be determined by the principles of statics alone. Such systems are known as statically indeterminate system, and for solving we need compatibility equation to be derived. So how they are determined, we are going to see one by one in the example. They are determined from deformation conditions of the system. So what are the deformation conditions given in your example? From that we are going to write the compatibility equation in that particular cases. Okay. Now indeterminate beams, example is compound bar. A bar consisting of 2 or more bars of different materials in parallel is known as compound or composite bar. So in case of composite materials or composite bars, we are going to use the indeterminate beam system to solve the numericals. The equilibrium equation is simple one. Total load must be equal to total load taken by individual members. So it is equal to P is equal to P1 plus P2. The compatibility equation, the deformation of bar must be equal to the tube. So in that case, the deformation, that is P1 L1 upon A1 E1 is equal to P2 L1 L2 A2 E2. Here L and L1 and L2 are same, so it is written as L, and by simplifying we get these equations. So this is equal to P1 is equal to P2 into A1 E1 divided by A2 E2. And further simplifying, we can write P1 and P2 equations in these forms. So we'll see one numerical. So it will be easy to understand these type of examples. In this example, three equally spaced rods in same vertical plane support a rigid bar AB. Two outer rods are of brass, each 600 mm long and 25 mm diameter. So brass rods are 600 mm long and its diameter is 25 mm given here. The central rod is of steel. Central rod is of steel, is 800 mm long and 330 mm diameter. So it is given here, it is shown in the example. Determine the forces in the rods due to 120 kilonewton force through the midpoint of the bar. The bar remains horizontal after application of load. So this is a condition which we are going to use to write a compatibility equation. The bar remains horizontal after application of load. Take ES upon EB is equal to 2. So we'll try to solve this numerical systematically. Given data is rigid bar system as shown in figure. ES upon EB is equal to 2. Applying compatibility equation. Now we are going to use compatibility equation in this case. So the deformation or elongation of each rod must be same. That means the delta of B must be equal to delta of S for the condition of horizontal. The bar remains horizontal after application of load. So that we have to remember. After application of load, if bar is to remain as a horizontal, that means the elongation in brass must be equal to elongation in steel. So that we have written here, PB upon LB divided by, so PB into LB divided by AB into EB, P1 L1 upon A1 E1, same here. Then we are going to put the values here because diameter of brass is known to us 25, diameter of steel is known to us 30. The ratio of ES upon EB is known to us, it is 2. So here EB upon ES is equal to 1 upon 2. Length of steel is 800 mm. Length of brass is 600 mm. After putting this all values here, now somebody may ask me that is why it is a radius square only, why there is no pi, because pi by 4 get cancelled throughout, that's why only radius square is there. And we get the equation as PV is equal to 0.463 PS as your first equation due to compatibility. Second, applying equilibrium equation. There are two brass rods, so 2 into PB, one steel rod, and the total must be equal to the load applied, which is 120 kilonewton. From previous equation, we are going to put value of brass, the force in brass is 2 times 0.463 PS plus PS. So this is one equation and one unknown. You can solve it directly. PS we get 62.3 kilonewton and PV it is multiplied by 0.463, that is 28.84 kilonewton. So we are going to use both the equations, compatibility equation first to get the relation between PB and PS, and equilibrium equation, because due for equilibrium the forces must get balanced. Now in second equation or second example we'll see in details. Three equidistant vertical rods, each of 20 mm diameter, support a load of 25 kilonewton, the same plane as shown in figure. So here steel rods are outer, copper rod is inner, and 25 kilonewton load is been applied here. All rods are equally stressed. This will be your compatibility condition. So Neglecting any chance of buckling and taking ES is equal to 205 GPa, EC is equal to 100 GPa, determine the final stresses when further load of 20 kilonewton is added. So ES is given 205, EC is given 100, and further 20 kilonewton load, additional load is been applied here. So we'll write the given data here. Lengths of steel and copper are given here, 2.8 meter and 3.6 meter. So we have converted area in millimeters. ES in megapascal, EC in megapascal. Diameter is 20 each. So to find final stresses when further load of 20 kilonewton is applied. So we'll see. Initial stress in each rod is force upon area. Now here, why it is written 3 times pi r square? Because the area of each rod will be pi r square or pi by 4 d square. So if I multiply by 3, then I'll get the total cross-sectional area of that all rods. So it is equal to 25,000 divided by 3 pi r square, and the answer comes 26.53 megapascal. This is initial stress. From equilibrium equation, we get this additional force of 20 kilonewton will create additional stress. So this additional stresses are sigma s and sigma c we have considered. Twice sigma s because 2 times there are 2 steel rods, 1 copper rod multiplied by the cross-sectional area must be equal to the force applied, 20 kilonewton. And from compatibility equation, the change in length of copper must be equal to change in length of steel. So it is equal to sigma c LC upon EC. So I have taken here short form because P1 A1 is nothing but sigma and A is constant. That's why I have taken sigma c LC divided by EC. Sigma is LS divided by ES. Now putting all the values, I'll get 3.6, actually 6,600 we have to take. 3,600 divided by 2,800. The ratio will be same. The length ratio will be same. This is EC upon ES. So into sigma s, and I'll get the value sigma c in terms of sigma s as 0.627 sigma s, and this we are going to use an equation, first equilibrium equation, and we'll solve the numerical. So 2 times sigma s plus 0.627 sigma s into 100 pi, this is nothing but your cross-sectional area, is equal to 20,000. So we'll get sigma s is equal to 24.23 megapascal and sigma c is equal to 15.19 megapascal. Now these are the stresses after applying 20,000 kilonewton load, but there are some initial stresses also. We have calculated it in your previous slide. We have calculated that initial stress is 26.53 megapascal. So we have to add that 26.53 megapascal in each condition to get the final stresses. So final stress in steel rod will be 24.23 megapascal plus 26.53, that is initial stress I. So this is initial stress in steel rod, and so total stress will be 50.76 megapascal. Similarly, final stress in copper rod 15.19 megapascal plus 26.53. So it will be 72 megapascal as a final stress in copper rod. Okay, so if any questions are there, then you can post in comment box so I can solve these queries, and it will be helpful in your exam. We'll meet again in next lecture. Thank you very much.